Okay, so normally I do a lot of newborns and maternities, and I really love working with kids and families. And so I knew that I wanted to get back into doing more families. And I actually had a friend book with me for a family session. And I went out to the session, and she had a specific place she wanted to shoot. And I was like, oh, this grassy field is going to be fantastic. Got out there. Noticed I was getting some reflections, but I wasn't exactly sure why I was getting the reflections. And I was like, oh, I'll take a look at it in editing. I'm sure I can fix it. Got back, and I was so bummed because I was like, I can't, this is not something that I can fix. This is a lighting issue. This is something that I need to learn to do better. And I was so bummed about the session. And it just so happened that your class popped up when I was editing. And I was like, I've got to take this. I want to start booking more families. This is what I need to do. I need to be able to deliver a consistent gallery, and this class has been fantastic for that. So I've done classes before. I've done some that were like newborn. I've done some that were family, but they were all like, you got the digital PDF to go through and kind of teach you what to do. None of the classes had any like teacher interaction, and I feel like with this class, that is what made the difference. Your interaction with all of us as students was fantastic. On some of the calls, you were digitally scouting people's locations, like helping them do that and helping them to actually see, this is how you do this, this is why you do this, and giving recommendations, which was fantastic, because when you get those digital workshops, you don't get any of that. It's just, here's the workshop, do it on your own. But getting that feedback from you, I feel like that really changed the game for the workshop like this. Like, this is fantastic. Even when I was shooting out on sunny days, cloudy days, going through that lesson and teaching about the reflections and all that kind of stuff, it was just like, oh, that's why this was this way. And I think I even messaged you when I did one of them on a cloudy day, and I was like, okay, so I love this image I did, and I don't love this one, but I think I'm connecting now exactly why I love this one and I don't like this one here from the same session. And it was just like, okay, now I understand it. Now I get it. And that one was fantastic. I love the lighting one because it went hand in hand with the location too. And picking and timing the spots. It's great. It's just great. I found so many more locations with going through, like you were teaching us to go scout the locations, time the location. I found so many more locations that it wasn't where people around here typically shoot.
Really, any good location, you should be able to shoot, whether it's cloudy or sunny, in the same general places. And today we're going to show you that. So hopefully we get a little bit of clouds and a little bit of sun to show you that. But we're going to start over here where there is, this big tree here. We have a line of trees here, which based off of any teachings I ever talk about is I love lines of trees because I can create Rembrandt lighting with them. And then after we're done over here, I think we're gonna head over to this area over here where there is, it looks like a mature cedar. I don't really know my trees. But just some more dappled light to work with and showcasing hopefully how this location is going to work for both cloud and sun. All right, so today I'm here with my friend Isabel. She's going to be our beautiful model for this lighting location scouting video. And what I'm going to start with is build some layers here. So I love finding locations that have some sort of layer. And the first thing that I'm going to look for is something that I can put on the same focal plane as my subject. So I'm going to be using this tree right here where the leaves are kind of hanging down, Isabel height. But in the background, you're going to see we have the dappled light, and then we have the darkness of that line of trees in the very back. And so that's really what we're looking for, are layers for this first spot that we're going to go to. And I did map this out on Google Earth Maps, and I just knew this was going to be a beautiful spot for this time of day because of where the sun is going to be setting, and then we have this big open parking lot behind us. And really what we're going to be using is that sky and the clouds and the blue and all of that to really illuminate Isabel's face. So I'm gonna have you go over to where that is kind of hanging down right there. But do you see how there's this one in the front hanging down, and then there's one in like the distance hanging down? Imagine that's kind of forming like a little lopsided archway, and you're gonna be standing kind of to the right of this one in the front and be standing down between the one that's to the farthest right. Okay, there. Go to the left. Other left, there you go, perfect. Yep, keep going back up. So right when those leaves that are hanging down are, yeah, and then get a little bit in. And then more in, and then come forward. So you're like on the same focal plane with those leaves. Perfect, right there, that's where I want you, gorgeous. And so hopefully you guys can see that the leaves to our left, her right, are gonna be in focus with her, and then those ones in the back there are catching light, but then some of them also aren't catching light. Are going to create depth to that, and then in the very back we obviously have like the dark woods and the wildflowers, weeds, all that going on that's going to create good layers.
I think that it's good for beginners and for people who've been doing it for years, because it breaks everything down so well that people who are just starting out can understand it. And then for the people who are maybe searching for that little aha moment of like, something is just not clicking with this, I feel like there's also something in there for them as well, because I've been doing this for years, and I was always struggling to get the consistency with my family sessions, because some of them I would have great light here, and then I would be like, I don't know why this one's not exactly working, but I'm going to go back to this spot right here, and I just really, really like these pictures, and it just wasn't consistent. And so I think that for new and for the people who have been doing it for so long, I think there's a good bit of information that any of them can take from this class. I put out, and I was like, hey, you know, all of you guys who have had sessions with me in the past, if you guys could just kind of give me any kind of feedback that you have on your most recent session. And so I had one client who she wanted to have a lifestyle at a park because her kids are very, very small. And we did it like earlier in the day. And she was like, I just don't think that it would work late. I just feel like my kids are not going to be able to handle that. So I did that session back in, I want to say in May. And then I had her come back and do one of my model call sessions, and we did it out at the lake. I did it at my correct time. We shot for maybe right at an hour. Her daughter did great. She was very worried about her daughter like being cranky or anything like that. No, her kids did fantastic. She was like, I felt like I could definitely tell that you were posing us, but in the pictures, it doesn't look unnatural. And she was like, I love that. She told me that she loved the fact that I captured them just playing with their kids, because they don't have images of that, where they were, the little girl was just, she loved splashing in the water. She's a wild child. She was like, I absolutely love it. And she was like, I'm so glad that I ended up doing that session with you as well. And she was like, well, now I don't feel like I have to like try to do an earlier session or do it at a park or something like that. She was like, now I know this will work. And I had another one who she said that she could definitely tell there was a lighting change in the images. And I've been taking her pictures for years. And she told me that she could tell in the most recent images that it's more lifelike, and it feels as if she were re-experiencing the moment, was what she said. And she said, she was talking about the locations, and she said, locations have all been different and unique. So not everybody's doing photos there, which I also love. Could definitely tell that there was a difference, that you seem to have the locations timed to perfection. So when I was moving them around to the different places, she was like, I knew you were doing that. It was so pretty here. And then we would go to the other one, it'd be so pretty here. So those were the ones that I got back, and I love it. I love it because this is what I was hoping for with this class, and I got it. So I'm very happy.